Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since it was out. The government has been Guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto. Today, we have got to take a very close look at a very deep dive on Bitcoin because, as you guys will most certainly know by now, there's been a major drop on Bitcoin. Bitcoin dropped all the way down to $17,200 last night, and this marks the beginning of what could be a massive movement to the downside where we could watch Bitcoin drop as low as $13,800 and change. And we're going to be talking about why this $5,000 drop has happened over just the last couple of days. We're also going to be talking about how Sam Bankman-Fried just lost 93% of his net worth. And we're going to be reading some tweets from a couple of billionaires, one of them, unfortunately for him, being a former billionaire, and what they have to say about the matter that just occurred. If you don't know what's going on, let me give you a TLDR. If you're watching this, it's the first piece of content you're watching in the last 2 days, and you're wondering what in the world is going on with crypto. Quite simply, here it is. Let me see if I can do this in under 60 seconds. FTX was, at one point, the third largest cryptocurrency exchange behind Binance and Coinbase. It was a contender with Binance primarily. They were seen as rivals, even though apparently CEO Changpeng Zhao and FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried apparently seemed to be kind of friends. They were obviously at odds. Ultimately, FTX had a token called FTT, and they were heavily invested in their own token called FTT. Well, FTT broke below an important level of support at $21.88. When that happened, FTX lost the ability to stay liquid and was not able to return money to its customers who were trying to withdraw cryptocurrency or funds from their platform, and so they went illiquid. In the exact same day, which was yesterday, Sam Bankman-Fried called called CEO Changpeng Zhao, asked for help. Within 24 hours, the letter of intent was drafted, and now Binance is going to be buying FTX to bail out the company and also to acquire it. So ultimately, this rivalry between Binance and FTX has come to a conclusion, and FTX has been checkmated. But CEO Changpeng Zhao doesn't seem to see it that way. He sees it as actually a very bad thing, even though it could theoretically be seen as a good thing for his business, meaning that they've just eliminated one of their competitors. This could actually make things in crypto a whole lot harder, and we're going to be reading some of his tweets today. We're going to be taking a look at what this means for the price action of Bitcoin, because we have set new lower lows during this bear market that we have not seen before. We have not seen $17,200 like we saw just a few hours ago since we went to $20,000 again back in December of 2020. It's been a while since we've seen that kind of movement. So we're going to be diving into all of that and more in today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live. And of course, we got to talk about the other big news story, which is the elections and the midterms and what that looks like moving into the next couple of years here in the United States. If you're wondering why I'm still in my room, two reasons. Number one, there's a hurricane coming through Florida. So we didn't want to get out on the roads and drive to the office just to find out there are 40, 50 mile an hour winds outside. Two, my son is sick. So really a good thing that I got this temporary set up, because now I'm going to need it for today and probably tomorrow. And we weren't going to stream on Friday because we were going to have to come into the office, but I actually may end up going live on Friday, even though we're taking Friday off, just to bring you guys some content. Not totally sure on that because our Kevin O'Leary interview is going out at 10 a.m. Eastern on Friday. Might just take the day with my family. I could use it. Either way, we're here. We're Coffee and Crypto. Got my coffee. Today, I am at my house, so I actually get to use one of my mugs. If you guys remember from the good old days, back when I used to be in my house, I would always show you guys the coffee mug I'm repping. So this is a coffee mug from Montana that my dad gave me when he went out on this big, like 5, 6, 7,000 mile road trip. Love this. I've got a coffee mug collection. Tell me if you guys do also. You know it's Coffee and Crypto, so boom, pound it. Cheers. Gonna be a great show. We're gonna go ahead and start off by reading chat. Let's see who was first. Ha! Looks like I was first. Shout out to Crypto Jebb. No, just kidding. Billy Huffman made a good point. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. I was here first because I was the person pressing play. So shout out to Billy Huffman. You were first. Grand Roofing Incorporated coming right after. Already got 500 people watching. Guys, today is going to be an insanely good stream, and I'll tell you why really quickly. Number one, if you don't know what's going on in crypto, I might be the man for the job to explain to you what in the world's going on in a way you'll understand, because I know it's confusing. Number two, we're going to look deep at those charts and see what Bitcoin is going to do over the next 3 months so that we can decide whether or not we can jump into a position. Hint, hint, I just jumped in big time into Bitcoin. My family just made a big purchase in cryptocurrency. I'm going to detail what that looks like here in a little bit. As far as the ratios and my strategy, I don't know if I'll go into the actual numbers, but the point is, I just bought, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And also, we're going to give you what the outlook looks like in the next 3 to 6 months with CPI data coming out tomorrow. And we've also got the effective federal funds rate being announced on December 14th coming up. The midterms just happened. A lot of big numbers playing into the market right now. So we're going to talk about all of that and more. Nevertheless, Grand Roofing Incorporated is here in chat. Said, good morning, Jebb. Wow, what crazy things we are all witnessing in the crypto realm. Our day, our kids will be like, yep, my parents lived through that. That's exactly right. That's how I felt going through the pandemic back in 2020 is, wow, this is like, I studied the Spanish flu in 1918 quite extensively, 1917, 1918 quite extensively when I was younger. I actually studied epidemiology as, not officially, I didn't go to school for it. I just watched a ton of videos on it and read about it, and I found it really interesting. And so I studied a lot about it, and then when the pandemic happened, I'm like, whoa, this is like, everything I studied, it's coming true. So anyway, we're living through historic times. I had a poli-sci teacher, a political science teacher, tell me in college one time. I dropped out of college in my first year, so I'm maybe not the man for the job to tell you about college. But anyway, my political science teacher told me one time, if anybody ever says you were living through interesting times, that's how you know you're living through bad times. And we're living through some interesting times right now. That's why we need our Lord Jesus. Anyway, we got Carter Mason in chat also. Sean O'Brien, Eric Warner, Frank 2020, Carter Mason said I was first to see the notification, so got me there. Chris Hernandez, reading some green names, got Justin Eubanks, Grand Roofing Incorporated again. Thank you so much for all of our regulars showing up and all of our new folks. By the way, if you guys are coming over from George's stream, George is a good friend of mine. Shout out to him. He just had like 9,000 people watching his stream because everybody wants to know what's going on in crypto. So if you came over from over here, hashtag Weird George. I'm in that gang too, so really appreciate all of you guys, and make sure to go subscribe to him. He's got a great stream. I don't know if it's still going on or it's over, but I'm sure he was absolutely slaying it. Anyway, we got Jeremy Shorter in chat also. So happy I got my crypto off FTX before all this mess. Not that I had a lot, guys. I think Ledger is about to do a lot of business, and I've never personally used Trezor. I don't have anything against them, but I have a feeling Trezor is going to do a lot of business too, because we've been talking about this for a long time. Not your keys, not your crypto, and unfortunately, a lot of people are getting burned right now. Grand Roofing Incorporated, Crypto Ben Franklin, Mitch Shaw, Gia S, Mitch Shaw again. We got Mitch Shaw, Mike Lowry, Rip Jebb. Rip Jebb, why? I just added to my position. I'm doing fine. Obviously, portfolios are down, but that's fine. We're in a bear market. That's how it goes. Jebb is my shepherd. I would love to be. I would love to help you, but that's the Lord's job. I'm not gonna take his. Club DeFi update. Club DeFi is going good. You can actually go to clubdefi.com now, and you can sign up. And you can get it with a yearly membership. So I haven't even announced that yet, but just so you know, there's a little bit of a sneak peek on that. We'll talk about that here in the coming weeks, though. Club DeFi, we're just making sure everybody who's in it right now is taken well care of. Anyway, Veronica Gainey said, good morning, Jebb and Coffee and Crypto family. Good morning. Not your keys, not your coins. Absolutely. Crypto Smitty in chat. Classic IT guy. Alioun. Let's see. I just tuned in for the first time in a while. Is Jebb back? I am. I'm back for good. I love this channel, and I cannot wait to see where it's going to go. Jebb sacked everyone in the bear market. Nope, I did not sack anybody. I've never fired a single employee my entire life, actually. I've always waited for, if I thought that they weren't supposed to be here, they ended up moving on their own. It's really beautiful how the Lord works like that. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump onto the screen because we need to talk a little bit about Bitcoin. As you guys can see, Bitcoin currently trading at $17,700. And in fact, that's a little bit of a bounce from where it was not too long ago. If we look down here, you can see that Bitcoin is very close to the bottoms, but we dropped all the way down to $17,259, about $60. And that drop registered as a 10 on the Richter scale. No, joking. It registered as a $3,000 drop in 19 hours. Bitcoin dropped so quickly, dropped like a stone, fell straight through support. I told you guys yesterday that this zone right here between and actually, funnily enough, it started dropping through this while we were live, but I was telling you this zone was going to be very important between $18,300 and $19,000. And guys, this is, a lot of people are saying, look, let me just pause here for a second. A lot of people are saying that this is when you throw technical analysis out the window because this is all about fundamentals. This was triggered by fundamentals and it'll be driven by TA. Excuse me, it was triggered by fundamentals and it will be guided by technical analysis. Now is not the time to turn off your technical indicators. Now is the time to turn them on and to pay very, very, very close attention to them because your technical indicators are going going to give you a ton of information about where Bitcoin is going to go, where it's going to bottom out, how it's going to do it, what the potential factors are that could lead to a bounce, because right now there's not a lot of bullish news coming out in the next couple of days that's going to give you reason to believe that you're going to see a bounce on the price of Bitcoin. If you're going to see a bounce, it's likely going to be as a result of the fact that Bitcoin has bottomed out on some critical level of support. So make sure you're paying very close attention to that TA. With that said, let's go ahead and jump back on over to the screen here, and you can see that Bitcoin, as I said, has dropped straight through a lot of that support that we were looking at. I even drew right over here where, for office hours yesterday, where we purchased. We got into Bitcoin right here at $18,292. I'm going to talk about my strategy. We deployed a third of the capital that we're going to be going into this investment round with. So we'll talk about that in a second. But the fact is, Bitcoin's dropping very quickly, and we've also seen Lux Algo come into play here with quite a few different technical indicators that are showing us some very critical things. So let's take a look at Lux Algo here. If you guys are not familiar with Lux Algo, you need to be. Very important technical indicator, especially in times like this, where the market is moving quickly and you're looking for when it's going to end and reverse and make a big movement so that you can make a trade. If you're a trader and you don't have Lux Algo, and even if you're an investor and you don't have Lux Algo, if you're a viewer of this channel and you follow the kind of content on this channel that we make, you need to get Lux Algo. I'm about to show you why. Get it with coupon code Jebb, link in the description box down below. Anyway, going back to the chart here, let's break down why I say that about Lux. We can see here that Lux Algo has given us some very, very powerful signals, and some of those we need to pay very close attention to. One of the things that you will see on Lux Algo here, and this is part of actually one of its free indicators. I don't have it up. This is the premium version of a free indicator, but it has, let me just pull it up right here. By the way, Lux Algo, community scripts, trending, most highly trending indicator on all of TradingView, times 4 for any of the competition, is a free indicator that Lux Algo put out, and that's this indicator. Let's look at this indicator. This indicator on Lux Algo, that's free, by the way, so make sure to check this out, showed you a couple of different things. First of all, it showed you that we had a weak high. This weak high printed on the candlestick right here. We talked about this back here on Monday's stream before Bitcoin jumped off a cliff, that Bitcoin had a weak high right here because it wasn't much higher than these highs over here, and that was a little bit concerning. Lux Algo gave you an early warning sign with the free version of its indicator, let alone the premium stuff that we're going to talk about in a second, that Bitcoin was looking a little bit anemic. Yes, it had set a higher high, but it wasn't such a higher high that it was something to get excited about. It was actually more of something to be concerned about. We were hoping that Bitcoin would be able to push to the upside and rally, and if we were able to hold this support right here, then we had high hopes for Bitcoin that it would be able to continue moving to the upside. Of course, when we broke below that, which I'm going to show you why in a second, Lux Algo called that with this, which is the EQ cloud right here. If you had have seen Lux, if you hadn't been watching Lux Algo, it would have been hard to see. Anyway, we're going to look at a bunch of TA, but I want to show you Lux Algo here. So, turning off smart money concepts, we're going to come back to it in a second. Let's go over to the regular indicator. You can see Lux Algo right here has this middle line, this middle level right here called the EQ cloud. This EQ cloud is a level that the market typically bounces off of when it's in a trend. If you're in an uptrend, you're going to bounce off of it moving to the upside. If you're in a downtrend, let me just find you an example. So like back over here in August and into early September, you can see you reject from it. You see how we were doing that? And then when we broke through it, then that was our confirmation that we were going to go to the upside. This central EQ cloud is very important to gauging whether the market is in a certain trend. We were hoping on Monday that Bitcoin would be able to hold this EQ cloud level of support right here and bounce. Unfortunately, it was not able to. We saw this candlestick, and this right here on this very candlestick is when all hell broke loose on crypto. A couple of things happened. First and foremost, this is just regular candlestick analysis. This isn't Lux Algo, but we saw a bearish engulfing candlestick. We saw a green candlestick. If I turn Lux Algo off so you can see the candle colors, we saw a green candlestick, bearish engulfing candlestick, and also, keeping Lux Algo off for a second, this is another formation that I've taught you guys before. It's called a red, green, 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 red. One red, 3 greens, and then a red. And it also followed a red, green, red. So we actually had two candlestick formations here on the 4-hourly chart back to back that were indicating that there was some bearish pressure and momentum going on in the space. Then at the same time, Bitcoin during this candlestick, the very next candlestick, broke below the EQ cloud, giving us more confirmation we were going to drop. Then we saw a strong sell signal, not just a regular one, a strong sell signal. We saw trend catcher come in to confirm it. And then also, if we looked at Lux Oscillator down here, then you would see that Lux Oscillator had turned red all the way back here. This gave us an early warning sign that something was going on. All of this was technical. None of this actually had to do with Sam Bankman-Fried's news because that came over here. Contrary to popular belief, Bitcoin was already going to go into this big drop before this news from SBF that we're going to talk about over here came out. That just made it a lot worse. So essentially what we saw was a perfect storm. Bitcoin was already going through a drop. Then a massive cryptocurrency exchange got basically, with all the liquidations going on their exchange, they pretty much joined in and got liquidated themselves. I'm very sorry for anybody who works at FTX, was on FTX, had value over there. Really unfortunate what's going on. But hey, it happens, and we need to learn because there are a lot of things that should have been done differently. We're going to talk about those in a second. There's so much to go over in this stream, so I got to talk quickly. That's why we drink coffee on Coffee and Crypto, because we like to cram as much information as we possibly can into 1 hour so that you're getting that value density that you came here for. If you're enjoying today's stream, I want you to do a couple things for me. First of all, smash that like button. Second of all, make sure to hit the post notification bell and follow us for all future content. Anyway, continuing on here, going back to Bitcoin, let's just kind of get to the point here. We had a lot of confirmations that this market was going to move to the downside. The main reason I show you that is, number one, to show you that you need to be paying close attention to TA. Because if you remember, SBF released this tweet at 11:03 a.m. yesterday. Well, 11:03 a.m. yesterday, just go down to the 5-minute chart just so we can see this. 11:03 a.m. yesterday was roughly right here. The market had actually already undergone a large portion of its drop by the time FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried dropped that tweet. We'd already undergone all of this. We were already into the bearish reversal zones, and the reversal zones were already dropping. So we were already going through a major drop. And by the way, this strong sell signal already had a take profit down here between 16.7 and 17.5. By the way, these take profit zones are absolutely awesome. Guys, I can't brag on Lux Algo enough. I use it every single day. It is wonderful. But then SBF came out with this, and Bitcoin dropped even farther, and we broke support. So what's going on here is that not only did we see a technical confirmation that Bitcoin was going to go to the downside, we also had a very strong and important level of support right here at $17,600. That's the level that we had set as support back here. And I'll draw this as blue. Actually, I'll draw it as, well, yeah, we're above it right now, so I'll draw it as blue. I typically color my support blue and my resistance red just to kind of show you good and bad. Blue right here, this is our support. This was our support that we set back here in June of 2022. This was our local bottom that Bitcoin had been contending with for quite some time. We just broke beneath that as of this morning, and we have actually set the market quite a bit lower than that. You can see this is the minute chart. You can see in several places Bitcoin has dropped below this and reestablished new lower lows. The good news is Bitcoin is still sitting in the range of this support. So just keep in mind, every time you have a support or resistance level, you really want to make it more like a zone. So Bitcoin's still kind of in the zone of support of that previous local low. But the fact is we did set a lower local low, which was set down here at about 2:30 yesterday, actually right about the time that we were live. The thing that concerns me is not so much that we set the new local low, it's that Bitcoin's actually in on the minute chart down here and a symmetrical triangle pattern with a price target, as you can see here, of probably about $16,500. Let me just tell you guys, if Bitcoin does drop down below that support level, that support zone, and breaks down it with strength, you are very likely to see Bitcoin drop quite substantially, probably down to $17,874. And that's what we're going to talk about next, is $13,874. Where did $17,500 come from as a level of support? Where did 13.8 come from as levels of support? Let's go ahead and dive right on into that. Guys, Bitcoin has not seen these levels other than in June, where we dropped down to these levels originally when we got down into this zone. We have not seen these levels since we broke through them back over here in December of 2020. Before that, the last time we saw these levels was in January of 2018. It's been that long. And in fact, the lows that Bitcoin is lining up with right now align perfectly. I mean, I'm talking perfectly with January 6th of 2018, which was a local high on the attempted rebound from the beginning of the bear market in 2018. If we look at the last couple of days here, you can see, well, guess where Bitcoin is bottoming out at right now? Goes to show you how powerful TA is. I'm a recruiter for technical analysis, guys. It is so important. You see this bottom line right here? I did not draw this based off of this level of support. I drew this based off of the resistance. Just remember, I mean, go back in the video. This is live. You can go back and watch. I just drew that line based off of this local top that we set over here on January 6th. Look at how close this is, guys. I drew this within, like, let's just see how close this got. I drew this within, what, a couple of dollars? Like, within $30. That's where that level came from. So if anybody tells you technical analysis is out the window right now, they're dead wrong, because fundamentals are going to direct the market. The technicals are the guardrails that end up telling you where the market is going to actually end up. Whether it ends up at 17.5 or 17.2 or 18.3, those exact levels are very important, because if you just have a general idea of where you're going on a road trip and I just take off going northwest, well, I might be trying to go to Chicago, But if I don't have the actual directions and the guardrails, I might end up in Los Angeles. Both of those are northwest of where I live in Florida. That's not good enough. You can get a general direction, but you need to have the guardrails to give you the directions. You can't just have the general direction. You have to have the directions, and that's what TA does. It gives you the directions for where you think the market is going to go based off of the technicals. And the technicals, obviously, right now are playing a huge role in Bitcoin, even though they're being overshadowed and ignored. You can't do it if you want to be a powerful and profitable trader. You got to pay attention to the technicals. Now, I just want to go ahead and break down really quickly also what I just did and what my family just did. My wife and I just did investing in crypto. So we just took an investment in crypto. And basically, this is a strategy that I've been thinking about doing for a long time. For a year, I've been waiting to pull the trigger on this because I did not think that the market was going to be continuing into a bull market ever since about 6 to 8 months ago. It's pretty clear that Bitcoin was going into a bear market, and we wanted to look for some good purchases. So I've been waiting to deploy a certain amount of capital. Not going to say the number, but it's pretty large, very large actually, in 3 batches. The first batch we just deployed yesterday. We deployed a third of the capital that we wanted to deploy into crypto yesterday. And we split that up into 3 transactions. Number 1, we bought 50% of that in Bitcoin. Number 2, we bought 30% of that in Ethereum. And number 3, we bought 20% of that in Cardano. So we just took those positions. 50% of what we deployed yesterday was Bitcoin. 30% was Ethereum. 20% was Cardano. If you want to know what I think about the market right now, I think we could drop lower. And that's why we only deployed a third. The next levels that we would be looking to deploy capital, I'll just go ahead and show you on Bitcoin, would be here. We're going to be looking at, I actually have it up on the chart here because I was showing Sarah what my strategy was yesterday and what she thought about it. This is where we deployed capital yesterday at $18,292 on Bitcoin. Wasn't a perfect level, but don't try and time the market, guys. Yes, I could have bought it right now at $500 less. This is an investment portfolio. We're going to hold 5-10 years. I don't care that much about $500. I just want to make sure I don't miss the drop in case Bitcoin had good news and it bounced and I missed it entirely. The second third would take place down here around $15,000 or so. And then the third would take place down here around $13,000. These are general zones. These are not exact levels, but this is kind of a guideline for us when we're investing in our portfolio of where we want to invest. One of the major levels that I'm looking at here is this level back over here, and this is where that number in the live streams title comes from, is $13,874. Remember, guys, I just showed you how Bitcoin dropped down perfectly. I mean, just within $20. It's not perfect, but it's about as close as you're going to get in crypto or in any market to this level right here, which was a previous local high. We also have this local high right here, which is much more significant than this little measly high. This local high right here is at, and if we just go in here very close, I can show you, is at $13,874, depending on what chart you're looking at. You see it right here. So right here, for example, it's at 13,768. I believe I actually looked at it over here on either Bitstamp or Coinbase. I have 3 different Bitcoin charts that I have up. On one of those charts, the exact number is $13,874, and that is the number that we are looking at right here. You can see right here. There we go. It's on the Bitstamp chart is where it shows up there. $13,874, $76. Give or take a few dollars is roughly where it is right there. In fact, if we go ahead and turn on snapping, we can see the exact level, and we'll snap to it. Let's see if it'll snap. I don't know if it's going to snap for me. But either way, about $13,860, $70, somewhere in that territory is the next local level that we'd be looking at. So we'd be looking to deploy capital in those 3 areas, roughly about halfway down there, maybe $14,000 to $15,000, and that kind of depends on the market velocity as well. If the market's moving really quickly and it's dropping like a stone, then you might wait a little bit longer to get in. The point is, though, we're looking for an average cost basis of around $15,000 to $16,000 so that we can really hold that into the future. Because Bitcoin goes to 100K, that's a 600% return in the next couple of years. That's huge, and we're also looking to get into real estate. You're not going to find that in real estate, okay? You're not going to find that anywhere. You're going to find that in crypto, though. And this is based off of a strategy that I implemented. Not really a strategy, just some purchases I bought that I made back in March of 2020. I bought Bitcoin, I bought Ethereum at $136. I went back on Coinbase and looked at it yesterday. I bought Ethereum at $136. I bought it in the 300 range, and I bought a ton of it around $500. And I remember buying it at $500-600 now that I went back and saw the transaction and jogged my memory. I remember buying it back there and thinking, man, I could be getting that better price. Man, Ethereum went down to $90. It went down to $98, whatever the bottom was, in March of 2020 when the whole economy collapsed. And the market did too. Bitcoin dropped 50% in a day. That's the market you're in, guys. Just remember, this is nothing compared to the things I've seen in crypto. I've watched Bitcoin drop 50% in a day twice. And more than that in the span of a month before. Anyway, I remember buying that $500-600 and thinking, gosh, I could have gotten this at 50. What's going on? But the thing is, the all-time high was $1,400. And I was very confident that Ethereum would go back to all-time high and beyond. Ended up going to $5,000. I made 900% on those investments because I was able to not worry so much about what the exact bottom was. But instead, I was able to focus on the fact that I was getting an investment that was going to go up hundreds of percentage points over the next couple of years, and that's what happened. So I'm very excited about the investment that we just made. Like I said, we've deployed a third of that capital. We are waiting on the next 2/3 of the capital, and if Bitcoin doesn't go much lower than it is right now, we probably won't deploy it. And if Bitcoin goes into a bull market and in 6 months is sitting at 30K and it looks like we're not going to see new lows ever again, then we'd start investing on that leg up after we've seen maybe 3 months of sustained pressure, and we're very confident we're not going to see lower lows. But so long as, and by the way, I'm sitting in the position a lot of institutions are, not in the amount of money I have, but in the strategy. The position I'm in and the institutions are in, and you're probably in, is Bitcoin looks like it's going to drop again. It looks like it's potentially going to go down to 13, 15K. I want to wait for those lower lows while getting in a little bit now. But the thing is, people are only putting in a little bit now. Like, I just put in a third of what I wanted to put in. And actually, I want to put in even more than that through dollar cost averaging. But right now, we're just doing the lump sums. A lot of these institutions and retail investors that are very strong and bedrock and been here for a long time are thinking, okay, I want to get in at a really solid price, but I don't know if the bottom's in. So they're deploying a little bit, but it's not enough to keep the market up because there's still people flooding out that are shorting the market because of news like what we're going to talk about here in a second with Sam Bankman-Fried. So you have this limbo where there's a lot of buying pressure sitting on the sidelines, but they're not confident that the bottom's in, so the buying pressure isn't coming in to stop the bleeding. So the bleeding continues, drops the price. We need to see that cycle play itself out so that we can see the market finally find that rock bottom and build a foundation from there. So guys, that's kind of what we're looking at today. We're looking at the fact that Bitcoin just went through a major drop, multi-$1,000 drop. I just took a position for the first time in several months because I've been looking for a bottom like this, or if the bull market was over, then I'd start buying on the way up, but I'd rather get a bottom down here. I'm actually really excited for the investing side of things for this movement right now. For the regulatory side of things, what this means for crypto, the fact that FTX just went under, we're going to talk about that in a second. Changpeng Zhao posted CZ from Binance, posted a really solid tweet and a notepad tweet that we're going to read here in a second about it, because it's not good news that FTX went under. I'm just excited that the prices are lower so that we can buy more. It's not a good thing for the industry, though, so I don't want to mix words on that. Going to read chat here in just a second, but I do just want to give you a little bit of a word from one of our sponsors, and they are known as none other. He is known as none other than Anthony Price. The reason that you need a CPA is quite simple. Number one, you could overpay on taxes. Number two, you could underpay in taxes. You might think that last one's a good thing, but it's not, because if you underpay in taxes the wrong way, the IRS is going to come after you. And first of all, they're going to want that money back. And second of all, they're going to want to know why you didn't pay them the right money in the first place, and they could get on to you. You also don't want to overpay in taxes because that's money that you could be using to buy a dip like on Bitcoin. And on top of that, if you are, and this is a special part of this, if you are invested in Bitcoin and crypto right now, then you need to be using Anthony Price as a CPA, because he can help you with strategies to maximize the losses that you're watching happen in your portfolio right now to actually pay less in taxes. It's called tax loss harvesting, and the fact that the market is down a lot right now, right before tax season, is actually extremely helpful for you if you're trying to pay less money in taxes. So what you need to do is you need to either call this number right here and tell them that Jebb sent you, or you need to check the link in the description box down below and get a consultation with Anthony Price, because he is going to help you to pay the least amount of money in taxes as possible this tax year in crypto, so that you can keep as much of it as possible in your crypto portfolio. Check him out, AnthonyPriceCPA.com. He is wonderful, and I definitely couldn't recommend him enough. Guys, we're going to go ahead and read some chat. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. We got 1,300 people watching. If you don't have some coffee, what are you doing with your life? Come on. Look, coffee is amazing. It's incredible. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's delicious. It's succulent. Anyway, I like coffee, and if you don't have some, you should get some. I had a funny story. I told you guys about this one time. I'll give you a little bit of story time here as a break. I know I talk quick. Sometimes we got to just take 5 minutes as a breather. Kind of, get a little bit of a rest in. Drink some coffee. I was at the North American Bitcoin Conference in January of this year, January 20th, somewhere around there, whenever it was. I've told this story on stream one time before. Guy walked up to me, Jamaican guy, tall, like 6'3" Jamaican guy, big, buff, huge guy, with army fatigues on. He walks up to me, and he's got an accent. I'm not even gonna offend half of the audience and try and mimic his accent, but nevertheless, he walks up to me with this really thick accent, and he goes, "Are you on cocaine?" And he says it like that. I'm like, what did he say? Did he say what I think he said? And so I asked him, "I'm sorry, what did you say? I couldn't hear you. I couldn't understand." And then he asked again. I'm like, there's no way. And so I asked him again, like, what did you say? Are you okay? I couldn't. I couldn't understand him, right? But I actually did understand him. The dude was asking me if I was on cocaine. I'm not. I hate drugs. I don't want anything to do with that. No. But he asked me that. He asked me 10 times because I just kept asking him, what do you say? And finally it clicked. It's like, no, he is actually asking me this. He just walked up and he's like, you're Crypto Jebb. I know you. And he walks up and he's like, good to meet you, man. Are you on cocaine? No. I like coffee and I have a ton of energy naturally. But no, I'm not. And so it was pretty fun. I don't remember his name. If he's watching the stream, or if he watched the other stream where I told the story, he's probably embarrassed. But hopefully not. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody. I just thought it was a funny stream. We are George. Love you. Boom sauce. George's got a great thing going on over there. Mountain Dew and Adderall. Nope. Never been on Adderall. Never. I don't even know what Adderall is or what it does. Mountain Dew is pretty good. But I don't drink. I don't really drink soda too much. I am a true believer in technical analysis, Pat Doyle said. Absolutely. Dr. Fuzzy Eyeball said, preach, Jebb. Love it. Ham City said, at Crypto Jebb, love the mentality, brother. Keep up the good work. God bless. God bless you too, my friend. Montana's being flooded by Canadians fleeing the law. Whoa, wow, okay. Shout out to Shannon Sharp and Matt C in chat. Let's see. Let's see what else here. Mitch Shaw in chat. Gia S. Shannon Sharp. This is one of the few times I'm hearing someone actually talk about when they strategically buy. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the numbers, but I wanted you guys to know my strategy because I don't buy crypto very often. I try and wait for a good opportunity. I like to sit and wait on capital. And I'm probably going to be doing a lot of buying over the next 3 to 6 months. But it's the thing is, I've watched Bitcoin go through a 10,000% rally before. I've watched 9,000% rally. But when I got into crypto, Bitcoin was trading $2,900. July 31st, 2017. I've been in crypto over 5 years now. This channel's about to turn 5. And I've watched the market go through those kind of rallies. And I am a true believer in crypto. Full stop. I love this industry and I know it's going to do big things. God bless all chat and Jebb. Thank you. Like the mouse 420. Siobhan Goulet said, hello there. Hello there. Win Peoples gave a member chat. Why would one do drugs when we have crypto? I don't understand why anybody would do drugs in the first place. It's just... Anyway. Opus number 1 said, what are your thoughts on Dash? It's a crypto asset. Yeah, I'm familiar with Dash. Maximum supply of 18 million coins, in my opinion, a long-term sleeping giant. Hashtag awake. Dash was a big deal, especially with the master nodes back when I got into crypto. The thing is, Dash is kind of dead. Dash was a big deal back when I got into the crypto space. It's just not anymore from what I can tell. I mean, let's look at the chart here. Let's see. Maybe I'm just completely off base, but okay, that's on Binance. Back in the day, what was it on? Bittrex? Do they even have the Bittrex chart over here anymore? Kraken. It's probably got a long-term chart on Kraken. Bittrex was... Not Bittrex, I'm sorry. Dash was a huge deal back when I got into the crypto space. Because one of the big cryptos that people were doing a lot of mining on. That's the chart. Okay? It had its day. It's dead. Like, everybody was investing in Dash because Dash had the just insanely powerful returning master nodes. You had to put like 50 grand in to get one. And you made a ton of money. People made a lot of money, but... As far as, yes, it has limited supply, but I remember when I was first getting into crypto and it was big, because remember, it hit all-time high back over here when all of crypto did. I got in right here, so I got in when Dash was going through. What in the world is the chart doing? What the heck is this? Okay, is that the magnet tool being on? Whoa! Okay, I'm completely distracted now, but that's awesome. I don't really know what the use of this would be, but discovering new things on TradingView all the time. Anyway, Dash was a project that went absolutely meteoric. Whenever you see a cryptocurrency do this and go 500% in 46 days, unless it's Bitcoin or something with a ridiculously strong use case, buyer beware. Anyway, Bitcoin right now dropping again, sitting at $17,400. Let's go ahead and jump on to Twitter. And over on Twitter is where we are going to discuss some of the happenings going on with Sam Bankman-Fried and CEO Changpeng Zhao. So... let's do it. Boom. All right. All righty. Let's see here. CZ over at Binance is the founder of Binance.com. He is one of the most powerful individuals in the entire cryptocurrency space, and he's got this really suave-looking, cool black and white logo. Profile picture. And he's worth billions of dollars. And he also just bought FTX. You can see in the tweet down here, this afternoon FTX asked for our help. We read this yesterday. There's a significant liquidity crunch. To protect users, we signed a non-binding letter of intent intended to fully acquire FTX.com and help cover the liquidity crunch. We'll be conducting a full DD in the coming days. This was not premeditated, as he's going to say in a little bit. This was not planned. SBF tweeted 6 minutes before that tweet, "Hey all, I have a few announcements to make. Things have come full circle, and FTX.com's first and last investors are the same. We have come to an agreement on a strategic transaction with Binance for FTX.com. All of this happened the same day." He sent this tweet out a couple of hours after he talked to CZ. It pretty much what happened. SBF called up CZ and said, "Yo, fam, we can't cover all of our users. You want to buy our exchange and make sure that they don't go completely insolvent." And CZ said, "Heck yeah, bro, I'll buy your exchange and get rid of the competition and help you out. Sure, I guess." And then so CZ posted this 6 minutes later. This was obviously coordinated. They surely coordinated these two tweets. But these two tweets shook crypto, and if you're wondering why Bitcoin is down as much as it is, well, you got your answer. These two tweets. This just goes to show you how powerful Twitter is. Like, ridiculously powerful. Anyway, CZ also said this. I'm going to read every single tweet he's posted since yesterday because they're all really important and they all have some really powerful information and takeaways for the crypto industry. "All crypto exchanges should do Merkle Tree proof of reserves. Banks run on fractional reserves. Crypto exchanges should not. At Binance will start to do proof of reserves soon. Full transparency." Thank you and hallelujah. Thank you. This is something that's been an issue in crypto for a long time. For example, trying to get Tether to show us their reserves. Why is it like trying to pull teeth from a 2-year-old? It's ridiculous trying to get these companies to show their reserves. You are a platform that is holding the money of another individual called your client. Are we not trying to reinvent finance in a way that's transparent and fungible? Or not, well, fungible, yes, but solvent, and in a way that bank runs can't happen? You know why bank runs can't happen don't happen in the United States? Because there's layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of regulation, not because they fix the underlying problem. Banks run on fractional reserve lending. If you deposit $10, they keep one or two of those dollars. I think by law they're required to keep 15%, whatever the number is, of the money that you give them, and then they loan the rest of it out. So if everybody wanted to withdraw their money at the same time, the bank doesn't have it. They have a bunch of IOUs, and you're up a creek if a bank goes down. Bad news. It's simply as I can put it, is horrible. And our entire international monetary system runs on that system. CZ said this about that. "Banks run on fractional reserves. Crypto exchanges should not." I don't think this was a shot at SBF, but it was definitely to cover CZ's tail. Because if you remember yesterday, I was giving Binance just as much flack as I was giving FTX. Because Binance, and I need to correct some of the things I said now, because he's made this clear on Twitter. It wasn't that clear before. Binance coin right here is obviously invested in by Binance the company, and he had something to say about that as well. "Zero free BTC trading will remain on hashtag Binance for the foreseeable future. I got used to this hairstyle." So this is a little bit off topic, but just wanted to share that as well. Two big lessons. Never use your token you created as collateral. If you're still wondering why FTX dropped so much, and Bitcoin's in free fall right now, so we're going to keep a close eye on that too. $17,000. Like I said, $13,874 is very likely. You can remember that I said that. That is a level that a lot of people are pointing to, so that's not just me pointing that out, but I think that's highly likely. But if you're wondering what happened to Bitcoin, or to FTX yesterday, this is what happened to FTX. Their token was sitting at $21.88. You can see it right up here. Was sitting at $21.88 as a support level. And when it broke that, FTX no longer had it was using their token as collateral. So they were investing in their own token, but their token went down. And they were over-invested in it. They didn't have enough liquidity in other assets and in cash to cover their clients. When that market went down, they started going illiquid. Then right here, because FTT was going down, a lot of people were worried that FTX was going illiquid and insolvent. That was on Monday. I said, I don't know if it actually would happen. I was wrong. It happened. Holy cow. I did not think it would. I was hoping that FTX was run more responsibly. I put my hope in the wrong place. Now, I've never used FTX, so that would probably be part of it. I'm not very familiar with the way they do their business because I'm not a customer of theirs. But nevertheless, it did happen. They actually were illiquid, and that's horrible. And so then right around here is when Sam Bankman-Fried posted this historic tweet that would go down in the history books as the Luna 2.0 collapse. And we saw FTT drop all the way down here. So if you're wondering what happened, this token price crashed, and this was a multi-billion-dollar token. FTT right now is still, even after this drop, worth about $1 billion, $600 million. So that's $3-4 billion in value wiped out, and a ton of users are not able to get their crypto off of the exchange over on FTX. So that's why we saw all this drama. And CZ had two lessons from this. Number one, never use a token you create as collateral. Please hold CZ and Binance accountable to that. Because if this token, the Binance Smart Chain, goes down to $50 for some reason, and Binance goes insolvent or illiquid, that puts crypto in a much worse position than FTX. You think FTX going down was bad? You try having Binance, which was 10 times their size, go under. You want to know how much ire that would bring from regulators? That would change the entire future trajectory of Bitcoin if that happens. CZ seems to be a very good man. He seems to be doing some great business, and he seems to genuinely care. But if he lied about that, and Binance starts using Binance coin as collateral, it could destroy this industry. You need to keep a very close eye as a citizen of this industry, and I only speak this passionately about this because this is extremely important to the future of crypto. If this happens to Binance, that's game over for a lot of the future that we had thought was going to be able to happen on Bitcoin, with regulators being happy about us and wanting the crypto industry to go forward in a beautiful way. Over. And we'd have to spend years regaining trust that was broken by one man. That's why centralized exchanges you need to be careful with. CZ must be held accountable to what he said in that tweet. Go take a screenshot of it and keep it on your computer. He said this. Number one, this is a big lesson he learned. Never use a token you create as collateral. I have been warning you guys for a year about Binance and a couple of other exchanges that have their own token, that are invested in their own token. If that token goes down, they go illiquid, and then they can't pay their customers. If that happens to Binance, 10 times the size of FTX, easily, that's a huge problem. Number two, don't borrow if you run a crypto business. Don't use capital efficiently, quote unquote. Have a large reserve. Amen and absolutely. This is another thing he needs to be held accountable on. Because if Binance follows these two strategies and does not renege on these two strategies for the sake of corporate growth, they should be fine. And they will be okay. And they will be an example for other exchanges around the industry. And they will set the precedent that you can run a successful cryptocurrency exchange without doing fractional reserve lending, without investing in your own token, and without having a liquidation price. An exchange should not have a liquidation price. Markets go up and down. They need to be able to be resistant and resilient during massive market movements. Binance has never used BNB for collateral, and we've never taken on debt. Stay #Seifu. This is a very encouraging tweet, and one of the most important tweets of this entire debacle. I would argue even more important than SBF and CZ's tweet about FTX being acquired. Because if this is true, we're in good hands as far as this is concerned. These are two of the biggest ways that Binance could go down, is if they started doing one of these things. Because let me just remind you the list that we're looking at here. We're looking at Luna, Celsius, 3 Arrows Capital, Voyager, Argo Blockchain, Core Scientific. There's another mining company. All these different companies that have gone under. All these different lending companies that have gone under because they were over-collateralized and they did not have the money in reserve to continue operations if Bitcoin went below a certain price. If you're gonna have a liquidity price, it needs to be very low. Michael Saylor and their purchases, they're buying Bitcoin on debt. Their liquidation price for Bitcoin is like $3,000. Fair enough. Bitcoin's probably not going to go to $3,000, but if it's $17,000, you're ridiculous, and you need to go back to business school or go out of business. It's a horrible, horrible idea, and it's really hurt the industry. You want to know why the market is down as much as it is right now over these last 4 months? Because a bunch of people built companies quickly, wrongly, and they're getting eviscerated because of it, and we're paying the price. But I'm okay with the price we're paying because we get a low price. Anyway, continuing on here, let's go ahead and read the rest of CZ's tweet. Don't mean to get upsetty, but I just want you to know that the way that this plays out and whether or not Binance stays true to what CZ just said, very important. I believe CZ will stay true to this, by the way. So I'm not trying to knock CZ or Binance. Based on what I can see, I think they're doing a pretty good job with the power that's been given to them by the industry. We can only pray and hope that that continues and use our money to vote if we think that they're not by using a different exchange. Anyway, I've always liked Binance. I don't have a problem with it. I do have some concerns about Binance Smart Chain, but nevertheless, I think the exchange is okay. To adjust to recent price fluctuations, Binance has topped the Seifu insurance fund to 1 billion equivalent. Again, BUSD and Binance address about 700 million. BTC address 300 million. Transparency 1 out of 2. What is Seifu fund? This is really fun. If you don't know, CZ tweeted at one point there was something going on with Binance. I don't even remember what it was, but he tweeted hashtag funds are Seifu instead of safe, S-A-F-E. He typed S-A-F-U. So he actually used it as a joke. CZ is almost like an Elon in crypto, so it's not surprising that Binance just invested in Twitter after Elon bought it. But this is called the Secure Asset Fund for Users. Love it. If you come over here, Binance pretty much talks about their funds to make sure that they have a reserve in case something terrible happens. This here, you can see it right here. Bizanachi uploaded a video titled Funds Are Seifu. Yeah, this is, anyway, you can go watch Bizanachi video. He's got a ton of really funny videos in crypto. Moving on here, this is the one I really want to get at. This went up on Twitter like 5 minutes before we went live. I saw this while I was pressing record. In the spirit of transparency, might as well share the actual note sent to all Binance team globally a few hours ago. This is pretty crucial. Binanceans. Given the events that transpired over the last couple of days, I want to reiterate a few points, and these are really good points that they need to be held accountable to. 1. We did not master plan this or anything related to it. That is because a lot of people were saying, well, Binance was questioning whether or not FTX had liquidity, and then that caused the price of FTT to drop because people were fudding FTT, and then it actually did cause liquidity, and FTX went under, and then Binance was able to step in and buy the exchange. You want to talk about a hostile takeover? You think Elon Musk is doing a hostile takeover? That would have been a hostile takeover, manipulating the price of the cryptocurrency asset and causing it to drop. That would be an SEC lawsuit if that was true. He's saying that that's not true. I might be too trusting of an individual. I've been told that. I'd like to believe him, and I think I do. I don't necessarily think CZ actually premeditated this. I don't think they were really worried about FTX as a competitor because Binance already had so many good things going for them. I don't think they really needed to put some kind of master plan together that would get them shut down by regulators to take over FTX. I think they realized that eventually they could outcompete them and something like this would happen. So I believe it that they didn't master plan this, but it does look like if they had, it worked well. You see what I mean? Moving on. I want to reiterate, it was less than 24 hours ago that SBF called me, and this was posted an hour ago, so that's just the time frame here. It was less than 24 hours ago that Sam Bankman-Fried called me, and before that, I had very little knowledge of the internal state of things at FTX. This is CZ at Binance speaking. I could do some mental calculations with our revenues to guess theirs, but it would never be very accurate. I was surprised when he wanted to talk. My first reaction was he wanted to do an OTC deal, but here we are. OTC being, hey, give me $500 million worth of Bitcoin, I'll give you $500 million worth of FTT. It's basically a gigantic transaction between massive whales that you use an intermediary for. Essentially what we're talking about here. As the due diligence for the deal is ongoing, I want to remind everyone, do not trade FTT tokens. If you have a bag, you have a bag. Do not buy or sell. As soon as I finished the call with SBF yesterday, I asked our team to stop selling as an organization. Yes, we have a bag, but that's okay because they were offloading FTT. They were selling FTT is what happened before this, and that led to a bunch of people saying, oh, well, Binance is selling FTT. I'm going to sell FTT. Yes, we have a bag, but that's okay. More importantly, we need to hold ourselves to a higher standard than even in banks. Hopefully that continues to be the case. 3, obviously, do not comment on the deal publicly or internally. If you are not directly involved, don't ask. We have a good team handling it. Things will play out. 4, this is addressed also to the internal team at Binance, so that's why that language is in there. 4, FTX is going down is not good for anyone in the industry. Do not view it as a win for us. User confidence is severely shaken. Regulators will scrutinize exchanges even more. Licenses around the globe will be harder to get, and people will now think we're the biggest and will attack us more. That's why I'm saying that Binance perpetrating this would not have done any good for them. Yes, they took out a competitor, but at what cost? Because the price of Bitcoin just crashed, and it's going to make the bear market last longer. And even though, yes, they acquired their competitor, FTX, they're probably actually going to lose money because of how much of an impact this made on the entire market and how hard it's going to be to do business moving forward. Now think we're the biggest and will attack us more, but that's okay. We're used to being open and leaning into headwinds. In fact, we embrace scrutiny. We must significantly increase our transparency, proof of reserves, insurance funds, etc. A lot more to come in this area. We have a lot of tough work ahead of us, not to mention price swinging wildly, which it is. Bitcoin sitting at 17.2 right now, when 3 days ago it was sitting at 21. So the volatility is back. And by the way, man, I'm a technical analyst, so I always get distracted by TA. Seeing a massive amount of volatility, either to the upside or the downside, is actually a very good thing long term, because 1, it draws attention to crypto, and that attention eventually buys, and number 2, it ends up helping the market break out of the range that it had been in and bring back that volatility, and you need volatility to go into a bull market. Anyway, 5, speaking of prices, as I've said many times over the years, ignore the prices. Let's keep our heads down and focus on building products people use. It has always worked over the years, and today is obviously no exception. Love what he's saying here. You might think, oh, Jebb, you're an analyst and you're saying ignore the prices. Yeah, kinda. If you're an investor, stop looking at the prices every day. Watch the stream if you want to for entertainment, or if you're looking for an entry. It's good to pay attention in that regard, but don't freak yourself out by watching the prices every day if you're an investor, and that's who he's talking to. Lastly, I want to say I'm really proud of each and every one of you for all of your hard work and as a team. Thank you. We still have many challenges ahead of us. Let us continue to push ahead and help increase the freedom of money all around the world steadily and consistently. Boom. So we're caught up to speed on what CZ has said over on Binance. We've talked about the price. We've talked about why FTT token went down. We've talked about all of that. The question now on the table is what happens next. What happens next in crypto is this. Crypto is going to try and find a bottom. That bottom could take place at That bottom could take place very soon in time, or it could take place in a little while. It might not take place right away. That bottom is likely, in my opinion, to be lower than where it is now. I would wager that, and I mean, theoretically, I have wagered because of the investment strategy I just laid out for you, that the bottom's not in. I would not be surprised if the bottom is not in and we did see a $14,000 Bitcoin roughly. That being said, if that happens, it's a good thing. Why? Because Bitcoin historically dropped 85% during a bear market. We've only dropped 80% during this bear market, only actually 75% during this bear market. Dropping down to 80 or 85% would give a lot of people a lot of confidence that, okay, finally, bottom's in, let's move on. On top of that, tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., we get CPI data. You will see that CPI data discussed here on this channel tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned for that. There's a whole lot going on right now. And some of the most important things that you can do is pay very close attention to the charts, pay very close attention to the news, be kept up to date on what's going on in the industry through shows like mine or, you know, George's that some of you guys just came from, other shows in the industry here, and make sure that you be very careful about your buys and sells. Be strategic. Don't let your emotions rule you. It was not an emotional trade that I made yesterday. It was a calculated one that I've been waiting on making for months. It was a plan that I'd had in the back of my head. Nothing I had drafted out, put in a long paper or anything. Just something I had in the back of my head that if we break bearish out of this trading range, buy. And that's what we saw happen. Broke bearish out of the trading range, and I initiated, I should say, that buying strategy. Be very careful about emotions right now. Keep a very close eye on your emotions. Are you freaking out because you're thinking, oh my gosh, my portfolio is down another 15%. I'm already down 70. What am I going to do? You need to pause. Better to step out of the space for 3 days, go on vacation and get and catch a breather and get a break than to trade something that you're going to regret. Number two, don't buy anything that you don't understand. If you see an altcoin down 99% and you think, oh, that's a great buy, but you don't understand it, don't buy it. I don't care if it's going to go a million X next month. If you don't understand it, don't buy it, because the vast majority of cryptos, when they go down 90%, they don't bounce. They're gone for good. And I don't want you to get burned like that. So that's another thing to be very careful about. On top of that, make sure that you're not investing more than you're willing to lose. On the flip side, make sure you're not investing more than you're willing to lose. The lump sum of money that we have right now is very significant that we're going to put into crypto, but we could afford to lose every dime of it, and we would be completely solvent as a company and as a family. So make sure that you're being very careful with investments, because investments need to come after your ability to maintain your operating expenses, if you will. You want an example? Ask FTX. They were investing in things when they didn't have money to cover their immediate obligations, their short-term obligations. So don't do that. Don't do what Three Arrows Capital, Voyager, Celsius, Core Scientific, Argo Blockchain, and now FTX have done. It is investing so much that you don't have enough to afford your current expenses. This just goes back to prove the wisdom that I've shared with you guys that I hope you've taken of, if you can't afford to, this is an analogy I've used for literally like 4 years on the stream here. If you cannot afford to take whatever money you're about to invest into the backyard, douse it in gasoline, light that sucker on fire, and never see it again, if you can't afford to do that, then you can't afford to invest it. Because the moment a dollar enters an investment, you need to assume it's gone. Gone. For good. You need to assume it's gone and you're never going to see it again. And then hope and pray you get a penny of it back. If you have a good strategy, you'll make money. If not, things happen. I'm not saying be an emotionless human. That's how you turn into a psychopath. But in cryptocurrency trading, you need to be as rational as possible. It's not wrong to feel the emotions, but it is wrong to make decisions based off of them. I hope that makes sense. So this is a time now of a lot of opportunity. And I am so excited on the price action side of things that the market's dropping. I am so pumped that the market is dropping because I have been waiting for a great buying opportunity for a while. 21 was a pretty great buying opportunity also, but 18's better, you know? So I'm not worried about this. Every time that Bitcoin goes through a massive drop, and maybe I should do this time also. Every time it goes through a massive drop, I always post a video. It's been a tradition on the channel. Before you leave Bitcoin, watch this video. And I just re-emphasize to people, hey, Bitcoin's not dead. The price is low. There's a difference. Now's a great time to buy. If your favorite flat screen television goes on a 70% discount, are you going to say, oh man, I just hate televisions. Look, they're going down in value. What am I going to do? I'm just going to start watching things on my phone from now on because televisions are just dead. No. Buy the sucker. You want it. You know you do. So that's what we're talking about in crypto. Just because the price is down does not have any correlation whatsoever for Bitcoin, because it's proven. A lot of the altcoins, it does have a correlation, but for Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the bigger ones, it has no correlation with the asset being dead. None whatsoever. So just be very careful about those emotions and some of the lies that you can get told by yourself in the cryptocurrency space. I would just want you to be very careful about that. But one thing also that I want you to be very careful about is taxes. And one of the places that you can save money in taxes is by using something called iTrust Capital. If you guys are not familiar with iTrust Capital, they are a service that allow you to invest in cryptocurrency using your retirement account. So for example, you can invest in crypto with your IRA. You can invest with your 401k, your TSP, your 403b, your 457. All of these different retirement and tax accounts that are tax shelters. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, essentially if you have a tax account of some kind, like an IRA, a 401k, then essentially you can defer your payment of taxes. So you can invest with pre-tax money, meaning that instead of investing 80% because you're paying 20% of your income in taxes, you invest all 100% of that money. You let it grow for 30 years until you're 59 and a half, and you can withdraw without a penalty from that account. And then you pay the taxes on the withdrawal. So you're able to invest with that amount of money that you would be paying pre-tax. So let me give you an example. Let's say you got $100. After taxes, you'd only have $80. Let's say you're getting taxed 20%, and that's everything. You only have $80. If you put it into a compound interest calculator, let's actually do that for a second. If you put it into a compound interest calculator, because this is a really, like, guys, I love iTrust Capital, and they are a sponsor of the show, but I'm just telling you, this is something that you need to do. If you invest with $80 versus $100, the difference in the principal is going to make a big difference. Let's just look at let's use $10,000 here and $8,000 here. And we look at 30 years. Let's see what 30 years looks like. Let's say you're 29 right now, and you're gonna do that then. So in estimated interest rate, let's just say 5%, whatever. Let's say you're investing in the S&P 500. So if you invest $10,000 in 30 years, you'll have $43,000. Boom. But let's say you invest $8,000 because you had to invest with that pre-tax money. Look at this. You only have $34,000. You missed out on $9,000 worth of gains because you didn't invest this money in an IRA that was invested with pre-tax money. You just missed out on $9,000. You missed out on, like, what? It'd be almost 33% of the gains that you could have made because you didn't utilize the tax shelter. The best way and the most trusted way to do that in crypto is with iTrust Capital. So make sure to sign up with the link in the description box down below. You can also stake over here with some of your assets. A lot of different things you can do here. You can see they have 185,000 accounts. They are by far and away, it's not even close, the #1 retirement account service provider in the cryptocurrency industry. So make sure to check out the link in the description box down below. Anyway, let's go ahead and read some chat here. We got a couple super chats. Thank you guys for tuning in. And guys, don't forget about Lux Algo either. Lux Algo is just incredible, and it's absolutely killing it right now. All right, Siobhan Golay said, glad to see Jebb's back on track on channel. Yes, and by the way, I apologize because I wasn't trying to lie to you. I just want to, I told you I'd be back in studio today and tomorrow, but I'm probably going to be here today and tomorrow. And the reason is there's a hurricane coming through. And so we don't really want to get out in potentially 40-mile-an-hour winds. We have a 2-year-old in the car. My wife is pregnant. Like, we just want to be very careful, you know. And also, my son is sick. So kind of a double whammy. Luckily, for some reason, we decided yesterday to go ahead and see if we could set up a mobile set and do this from anywhere. So I set this up as a temporary set in our house. I may end up streaming from our house up to maybe 1 time a week. This week, I'm probably going to do most of the streaming from this house. But ultimately, you didn't come here for the set. You came here for the information. And we are also building an awesome set at the office. The studio's not gone. The studio's still there. We're actually working on it today. We're going to have to go into the office with Malachi. We're actually going to bring him with us. He's going to help. You know, he's 2. So we're going to, like, say, here, go pull this over here, move this. And he's very, very cute, very helpful. I'm actually in his room right now, funnily enough. So poor guy is in our master bedroom with his mom watching Cars. Anyway, but yeah, we're probably not going to be I don't know if we'll be on set again this week, but we will be on set again normally for most days, and we're working on building that set out. Now, right now, it's just black curtains. I've got a whole idea in my head about what we're going to build it out as. Really looking forward to it and cannot wait. We've got a super chat here. I missed the $5 super chat. No, I didn't. I did read it, actually. It was about Dash. Siobhan Golay also did a member chat. Said, missed to see you back on the channel. Please brief what happened with him and the others. Hope everything's good. Sending lots of respect, man. Look, guys, going to put it very simply here. Tim, Christian, T-Shroom, and several of the other employees decided, based on a decision that was made, that they were going to move on and that they were going to part ways. They've gone ahead and moved on to other ventures, and they're not going to be on the channel anymore. That's all I'm going to say about it. I know you guys keep asking, Jebb, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Out of respect for them and out of respect for the fact that I want to be as unified as possible with everybody involved. That's all I'm going to say about it. I know you guys keep asking. Here's what happened. They've decided to move on. I've decided to stay here on the channel because I believe that there's a mission here that I am supposed to be a part of, and that's what's going to happen on in the future. I'm just not going to say a whole lot more about it than that. Anyway, let's see. One Voice 92 donated $2. Said, "Help! I'm at work. My ledger is at home." Yeah, that's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. Siobhan Golay said, "Wishing her good well-being for your wife and you, Jebb. Thank you so much." Let's see. Jacob. Oh, and by the way, we didn't have a lot of time to go into the CPI or the election or anything. The Democrats won some new seats last night, so that was very interesting. Don't have time to go into that today, but it is pretty important. Grab your coffee. Cheers. Guys, if you are new here, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button and sign up for Lux Algo, Club DeFi, and everything with the link in the description box down below. Help support the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm very honored that you would take time out of your busy schedule to be here with me. Before we go, I just want to give you one more shout out to another sponsor of ours. They would be none other than BitGet.com. One of the things I love about BitGet is this copy trading functionality over here. Come over here, go to copy trading, boom, copy trading. And then you can see there are people copying these traders down here and making tens of thousands of dollars in money because they are following what these other expert traders are doing on BitGet. So make sure you check out BitGet with the link in the description box down below, and you are going to get access to the ability to copy trade, and also, of course, all of the exchange features. It's also a full exchange where you can deposit crypto, you can buy crypto with one click, and you also have your futures and your spot, and you have your different strategies. You can even come over here and do some of your staking, and just a ton of different functionalities. But I really like the copy trading, so make sure you check that out with the link down below. Boom. I'm going to read chat here for a couple minutes. We're going to go maybe 1 or 2 minutes over, and then we're going to go ahead and jump because we got some work to do. Watch some random YouTuber uploaded your video about the first step, and it really motivated me. Cheers. What do you mean by the first step? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Jebb, check CoinDesk. A lot of people are mentioning CoinDesk. What's going on over on CoinDesk? Binance is strongly leaning towards scrapping FTX rescue takeover after first glance at the books. Whoo-wee! Yeah, they are not bound by that. Yeah, okay, so we're going to have to talk about that tomorrow, but I will just, I'll go ahead and show you the article here and maybe give a quick comment on it. Strongly leaning towards scrapping FTX rescue takeover after first glance at the books. Golly, they must have been in really bad shape. Binance's non-binding letter of intent for the takeover announced Tuesday as FTX. Binance declined to comment. Backing out would be yet one more stunning step in a week of drama. That would drop. If that happens, you can basically guarantee Bitcoin's going to drop below 17K. Wow. Okay, so more drama to come, guys. They could back out of that deal and completely forget about it. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see if these two actually, if this one sells to this one or not. But either way, I'm going to have to go, guys, because we have run a little bit over time. But definitely make sure to check out that article over on CoinDesk and pay very close attention to what's going on. Like I said, really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.